tahniah. Okay. Next, ada something yang saya nak share dengan you all. Okay. Okay. So this is one of the international online workshops. Alright. So, yang ni adalah organised daripada Jepun, University Jepun, UUM dan juga UGM dari Indonesia. Okay, so dia akan ada 3 sesi punya talk. So, talk dia adalah dalam 1 hour plus saja. Okay, I need students untuk join. Okay, so selepas 3 sesi, okay, so yang ni on 14th, so hari Selasa ni, and then the next one is, you all boleh nampak kalender ni tak? Kalender.
Boleh.
Okay, so the first one will be on 14th. Second one akan pada 11 Januari. And then the third one will be 25th January. Okay, so kamu akan attend 3 online symposium ni. Afterwards, pada 1st of March, akan ada satu group presentations. Okay, so saya perlu student untuk participate. Especially symposium ni untuk. Okay, so siapa yang nak, sila tulis nama dan nombor matriks dan hantar kat saya. Okay, Norin boleh tak hantar kat saya? And then even kalau siapa, and then you guys akan dapat certificates daripada Jepun. Certificates dia adalah dari Jepun. So I need the name dengan matrix numbers. Okay, so nanti saya akan boleh hantar message kat saya. Okay, hantar dalam group ke anything. Okay, so this is the information yang saya nak you all share. Saya nak share dengan you all. And for the comings on 14 ni, so the coming weeks punya, so this sesi, all of you saya akan minta all of you to join either through I will ask you to join through FB Live. So you all tak payahlah masuk ke Zoom. You boleh tengok dekat FB Live. Okay. So this will be the speaker. So setiap sesi speaker dia akan dari Jepun, dari Malaysia, dari Indonesia. And then student yang participate dalam ni juga ada student Indonesia, student Jepun dan juga student Malaysia. Okay. So it's a good times untuk you guys join as a participants for me sebabnya you can get international certificates on the credits, okay? And then also you can learn something new, okay? Alright. So this is something yang saya nak share and then nanti saya akan inform dekat you guys, okay? So siapa nak join boleh bagi nama kat saya, okay? But then for all the lectures sebenarnya saya akan wajibkan you all untuk join, but then the symposium actually the symposium pada 1 hari bulan 3 next year punya, yang tu yang hanya akan selected persons untuk join the presentations. So kalau you all tak nak decide sekarang pun tak apa, because you can just join dulu untuk dengar and then the presentation you can decide by yourself. Do you would like to join the presentations, all that things, sebab you have 1 month untuk prepare the slides and then you do the presentation. So not a big issues, okay? Alright, okay? So that's all for the things yang I nak share. So do you have any other thing before we start our lectures? Masih ingat tak apa yang kita dah belajar during the semester break? Do you still remember?
Water treatment.
Water treatments, okay. Bukankah kita belajar sebelum tu solid waste, okay? Yes, okay. Kita belajar tentang solid waste, okay. Macam mana kita nak asingkan sampah. So, macam mana, how the recycling, okay. Pengurusan and then landfill, okay. Ada juga wastewater treatments dalam tu. Dalam landfill tu ada dia punya elements. Okay. So all of this yang kita dah belajar. Alright. So before you guys punya semester breaks, what you learn is more about sampah di rumah. Okay. Sampah di rumah. And then pernah tak terfikir kalau macam sampah di hospital, macam mana dia orang uruskan? Okay, ataupun sampah dekat kilang, sampah di industri, macam mana dia orang uruskan? Apakah prosedur-prosedur? Okay, so today we will learn about hazardous waste. Bila kita kata pasal hazardous waste, okay, as you can see from the slide here, okay, when we said about hazardous waste, okay, maksudnya adalah something yang berbahaya. Okay, sesuatu yang berbahaya. Alright. So kalau sesuatu yang berbahaya, kita nak pastikan benda tu tak akan menyebabkan alam sekitar kita. So kita macam mana kita nak uruskan dia? Okay. So we need to avoid that something is since we know it's a hazardous, sesuatu yang berbahaya. So macam mana kita nak pastikan dia tak membahayakan kepada alam sekitar kita ataupun kepada kita. Okay, so how we going to manage? Macam mana kita menguruskan all these things? Okay, selalu yang berbahaya kita tanam dekat tempat jauh dari penempatan. Yes, okay. And then kita ada specialized punya process of treatments. Okay, walaupun the total flow is almost the same, kita ada generations, collections, tapi orang yang datang collect akan berbeza. Okay, yang datang collect bukan lagi idaman, bukan yang datang collect depan rumah kita, tapi yang datang collect adalah special design. Okay, alright, so now let us start. Okay, boleh tak? Okay, so today course learning outcomes will be CLO2 and also CLO3. Okay, the important elements and also the current issues. Okay, so in this chapter, first you will learn about what is the definitions and how we classify the hazardous waste. And then second is what is the hazardous waste management. And then the final one is the technologies that we have for doing the treatments. Okay. Right. So first look into the definitions. Okay. So what is hazardous waste? Okay. Although we know that hazardous waste is something that is dangerous, but then how we going to say it is hazardous? Okay. So it has the definition. So you have to remember the keywords. Okay, so a solid waste or a combination of solid waste that because of its quantity, okay, concentrations or physical, chemical or infectious characteristic that may cause or significantly contribute to an increase in mortalities, okay, will cause death, okay, akan menyebabkan kematian, or an increase in serious, irreversible or incapacitating reversible illness. Okay, akan menyebabkan critical illness, penyakit yang teruk. Okay, pose a substantial, present or potential hazard to human health or the environments when the improperly treated, store, transport or dispose or otherwise managed. Okay, right. So even you look into here, okay, when it says about its quantity, concentrations and physical chemicals, okay, sometimes, okay, ada benda yang kita nampak kat belakang simbol dia akan tulis kata berbahaya. Contohnya, as example, bakteri. Okay, bakteri kategorinya kalau you tengok dekat labeling, sometimes dia akan ada simbol yang ada apa? akan ada simbol apa? Simbol yang ada kepala tengkorak kan? Okay. So kalau bateri, if you just throw one, so kuantiti dia kecil, baru satu saja. So tak adalah besar sangat dia punya impact. Okay. But then just imagine, kalau you dah kumpul dekat 100 and then you buang sekali. So that is the difference in term of the quantity. Okay. And then concentration sama juga, kepekatan. Sometimes acid, let's say, kalau you hanya letak setitik, tak adalah banyak sangat impact dia kepada air. Kalau satu kolam air dengan satu titik acid. But that's what happens kalau you tuang 1 liter. Okay, so the dilutions tak sempat pun berlaku. Alright, so this is the thing. And then also the recent one. You all semua pernah buat kan test kit, self-test untuk COVID test?
Pernah.
Okay.
Itu benda. Okay, faham.
Masa kamu buka test kit, ada tak kat dalam tu ada satu plastik bag yang ada simbol radioaktif?
Ada.
Ada kan? Okay. So, pernah tak terfikir, kenapa ada benda ni? Yang ni kan simbol dia bahaya. So, kalau bahaya saya nak buang kat mana? You buang kat mana?
Nak jujur ke, doktor?
Yes.
I tanam. Family kita orang tanam.
Okay, Norin tanam. How about others? Yang lain? Tong sampah. Betul tak? Okay.
Betul, saya tong sampah.
Okay, alright. So let me tell you, tak salah actually. What you do actually tak salah. Okay, we have the difference. Kita ada dua dari segi akta dan undang-undang daripada Jabatan Alam Sekitar dan juga Jabatan Alam Sekitar, kita ada separate treatments kepada dua ni. Okay, ada dua cara pengurusan. Okay, if you test it at your house, di rumah, so di rumah kuantiti tak akan besar. It won't more than 30 samples. Okay, tak akan melebihi 30, betul tak? So bila tak akan melebihi 30, you can dispose it as a normal waste. So boleh buang di tong sampah biasa. Tak apa, means yes, you are allowed. Okay, you are allowed to do by your own, to settle it by your own. Okay, those yang tak melebihi 30. But then if you are at home, at your workplace, okay, di tempat bekerja, ataupun sesiapa yang balik ke UUM. So you all balik ke UUM, once you arrive, you kena test kan. And then I'm sure orang HEP ataupun PKU akan ambil balik, akan minta kamu buang di satu plastik bag ataupun dalam satu tong. Sebab yang tu dia kategori as a industry ataupun tempat bekerja. So in a big quantity. So when in a big quantity, dia kena dispose mengikut hazardous waste. So PKU kena register. So PKU kena simpan semua tu, simpan di dalam PKU and then kena daftar dengan Jabatan Alam Sekitar dalam sistem e-SWIS. Okay, so baru akan ada specialized punya lori sampah datang collect and then bawa untuk dispose it as dilupuskan sebagai sisa berbahaya. So this is the separate one. Kalau kita test kat rumah, yes, we can just throw dalam tong sampah kita ataupun tanam di belakang rumah. Either one is fine. Because of the quantity is small. But then when you are at your working place, okay, contohnya kilang, every week akan test. Ada kilang yang setiap minggu kena test. Ada juga tempat kerja yang setiap 2 minggu kena buat test. Okay, so that once diorang kena ada special tempat untuk disposal. Okay, So this is what we means by the quantity, concentrations, physical, chemical. Okay, and infections characteristic. Okay, contohnya kenapa infection characteristic? Okay, let's say macam sekarang lah COVID. COVID is an infectious disease yang boleh transmit melalui udara. Sometimes pada awal stage, from the early stage, sebelum Jabatan Alam Sekitar keluarkan this kind of rules, we all pernah tanya, katakan kalau orang tu positif dan dilupuskan mengikut suka hati dia. So macam mana kita nak make sure orang yang datang collect sampah tu tak di-infect? Okay, tak kena. So this is something. And then afterwards, so Jabatan Alam Sekitar ada keluarkan satu rules, those yang in a big numbers, baru ada all these things. And then those yang in regularly macam kat rumah like us, if you just would like to test, then yang tu tak perlu. So you can just dispose by yourself. Okay, alright. So now we look into characteristic of the hazardous waste. Okay, now we look into the characteristic of the hazardous waste. Okay, so from this figure you can see we have 4 types of the characteristic. Okay, first one is ignitables yang boleh terbakar, corrosive, and then toxic and reactive. Okay, so for flammable or ignitables usually adalah solvent dan juga oil. So kalau kamu pergi ke petrol stations akan nampak kan ada simbol yang ada api. Okay, corrosive, okay, for the acid. Unstable, so it's usually the water from the TNT. Bomb, okay, use cyanide solvents. And then toxicity, some pesticide waste, high level of mercury, lead and arsenic. Okay, so this is the symbol that I'm sure all of you pernah jumpa benda-benda ni. Okay, these symbols. Okay, so what is flammable? Okay, or ignitability? Okay, is easier to burn. Okay, so the waste has any of the following properties. So the liquids contain less than 24% of alcohol by volume, and the flash point less than 60 degrees. So it is not a liquid and is capable under standard temperature and pressures. So it is an ignitable compressed gas. For example, it can be a waste oil, used organic solvent or PCB. Okay, you all selalu nampak simbol ni dekat mana? Where you can see these symbols?
Dekat perfume dengan deodorants.
Yes.
Spray.
Yes. Any kind yang ada spray usually akan ada sebab dia adalah salah satu compressed gas ataupun reset, racun, penyembuh nyamuk. Okay, belakang botol dia mesti ada compressed, mesti ada simbol ni sebab semua tu adalah salah satu compressed gas. Alright. Okay, next is the corrosivity. Okay, so this is usually you nampak waktu di makmal sains while masa kamu di sekolah menengah. Okay, acid, alkali mesti selalu nampak. Kimia, kelas kimia, lab kimia ataupun lab science. Okay, so the waste is a aqueous that has a pH less or equal to 2 or even equal to 12.5. So either sebelum less than 2 or more than 12.5, which is acid and alkali. So it is a liquid that can corrode a steel at a rate that 6 millimeter. Okay, so the example is a strong acid and strong base. Okay, and then explosive. Okay, unstable. Okay, or reactive. Right, so the waste is normally unstable and readily undergo violent change without detonating. Okay, it reacts violence with the water, form a potential explosive mixture with the water. So it is capable of detonations or explosive reaction if it suggests to a strong initiating source. So it's a cyanide solvent or explosive item. Okay, the final one is the toxicity. It poses dangers to humans, plants, and animal health through inhalations, indigestions, or surface contact. So DDT, dioxins. Okay, so this is the thing that you will always nampak di bahagian bahan-bahan yang ada racun. And then for this one, yang bulat punya, you will see at the hospital. Selalunya kalau di tempat yang ada X-ray. And then this is the one yang kamu akan nampak juga di hospital. Either on the test kit, even sometimes when you go to the hospital, nampak tak ada tong kuning. When you go for your vaccine. Selepas dia inject kamu, dia akan buang jarum tu dalam tong yang kuning. Okay, so they will come with this kind of the symbol because it's a toxicity things. Alright, so boleh tak ingat 4 types of the characteristic? Can you follow on that?
Can.
Okay, alright. So what kind of activities that generate the hazardous waste? Okay, so sometimes we might be said, oh, this is something yang tak berkaitan dengan saya, so why I have to care? But then you have to know what kind of activities that is generate this thing. So we will try to avoid, okay? We try to do these activities so that it will generate, okay? So we have 5, okay? Industrial activity, commercial activity, agriculture activity, hospital, laboratory, and clinics. And then even actually from our household activities also, we are indirectly will generate the hazardous waste. Okay. Okay, so these are all the examples. Okay, acid and alkali, cyanide waste, heavy metals, pesticide, halogenated solution waste, paint, dye, pigment, asbestos, PCB, and discarded batteries. Okay, right. So this is each of it. Okay, so for acid alkalis, it's come from a petroleum industry, chemical industry. Cyanide is a metal industry, arsenic industrial process, pesticide, cadmium, paint and plastic, lead is electronics, and then infection waste from the hospital research laboratory, organic solvents, plastic and cosmetic, radioactive waste, nuclear plants. Okay, so this is the industrial hazardous waste. And then now we look into the domestic one, okay, from our house, okay. So you can see that from the household, the domestic one, that from our house, we are actually also generate batteries, use motor oil, empty insecticide spray can, broken thermometer, unused drug or medicine, floor detergents, and then cigarette lighters. Okay. Cuba tanya diri sendiri. Try to ask yourself. Dalam 7 jenis ni, how many of it kita semua pernah buang ke dalam tong sampah yang biasa? How many times? Semua ada kan? Okay, batteries. I'm sure semua pernah. Use motor oil. Yes. Pesticide, spray, lepas dah guna, kita buang kat mana? Dalam tong sampah. Thermometer, sekarang better lah. Sekarang at least ada thermometer yang ada mercury. At least kita ada guna yang tu. So, tapi dalam tu ada batteries. Dia kena dispose. And then medicines. Okay. Bila kamu pergi ke klinik, ambil ubat. Doktor bagi ubat 3 hari. Mungkin kamu makan sehari dah lega. Balance lagi 2 hari. Simpan. Simpan. After setahun, oh, ubat ni dah expired. Okay, buang. So, buang. So, sometimes mungkin you akan dapat satu bunch. Okay, kalau kumpul-kumpul kamu akan nampak, oh ada satu bag punya ubat. Okay, floor detergents dan juga light pills. Okay. Okay, so the effects of the hazardous waste to human health and also to environments. Okay, so kita boleh separatekan dia kepada dua. Once to the environment, once to the human health. And then also in the short terms and also in the long terms. Okay, so to the human health, kalau yang biasa sahaja, so you will have injuries and then susah bernafas, pening, skin irritations and then juga kematian. Although a short term one. Okay, sebab ada orang mungkin dia akan allergic. Okay, but then in a serious one, you akan dapat cancer, miscarriage, and then neurology, otak mungkin akan terjejas, and then the final one is still death. And then for the environment, so you akan ada distasteful odors, bau tak best, reduce the visibilities, fire and explosions. In long term, it will damage to the building, destruct the natural resources, groundwater contaminations, and depletions of the ozone layer. Okay, all right. So this is all the basics. So the characteristic, the definitions. Okay. So now we look into the concept. Macam mana kita menguruskan dia? Okay. So we are using the cradles to grave concept. Okay. So cradle to grave concept, it means is an attempt to track the hazardous waste from its generation's point. Daripada dia lahir, you can start to crawling cradles to the graves. Okay, sampai ke disposal point. So, sampai dia dalam landfill. Okay. So, this system is required the generators to attach a manifest. Okay, itemized list describing the content. So, kita akan ada borang. Manifest tu adalah satu borang, okay? Forms to their hazardous waste shipments. Start daripada generation. That's why saya cakap tadi, kita ada satu sistem yang panggil e-Swiss. Okay? Sistem tu adalah from the times kita generate, you have to register. And then dia akan ada keluarkan all the order numbers. And from there, kita akan tracking all the steps. Okay, dari PKU, next sampai ke mana, thirdly sampai ke mana, and then every station. Okay, so this procedure is designed to ensure that the waste are directed to and reach a permitted disposal site. So the Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest is the key to the cradle to grave waste management. So with a manifest, the generator can track the movement of the hazardous waste from the point of generations to the point of ultimate treatment, storage, and disposal. Okay, so this is the cradle to grave management. So the hazardous waste management trail, okay, cycle deal, a one-page manifest must be accompany every waste shipment. So the resulting paper trail documents the waste progress through the treatment, storage, and disposal. So a missing form will alert the generator to investigate, which may mean calling in the state agency of the EPA. For Malaysia, this is for US, so they call Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. For Malaysia is our JAS, Jabatan Alam Sekitar, the DOE, okay? So this is the flow, okay, and also like this. So that form kita akan ada banyak copy. So dia akan ada carbon copy yang banyak salinan. So every time when it goes to satu place, dia akan catat and then keep. Bagi ke orang tu, each of the copies until the end. And then kena hantar balik. At the end, it has to be sent back to the EPA or the state agency. Okay. So this is the where the responsible of the Department of Environment, the DOE. Okay, so their responsible is to develop the policy, legislation, and regulations to control the management of the hazardous waste, and then also enforce the legislations and regulations, conduct the environment monitoring on the treatment and disposal facility, tracking and record keeping on the movement of the waste, undertake the investigation as to the cause, nature, and extent of the pollutions, promote, encourage, and coordinate, carry out the planning of the waste management. Okay, and then also this is the responsibility of the water treatment and disposal facility operator. Okay, orang yang bawa lori ataupun sometimes industrial tu dia buat activities dia adalah menyebabkan banyak hazardous waste is in a liquid form. So they need to go to the wastewater treatment plants. Okay, so they will go to the wastewater treatment plants, and then lepas after all the process of the wastewater treatment plant, the water become clean, but then it need to send to the landfill. So that is the operator of the wastewater treatment plants. They have to monitor what they should do. Okay. So before they can doing these constructions or anything, they need to obtain the construction and operation license first. Okay. Tak boleh lah simply kata, okay, sekarang saya ada satu tanah and then saya nak buat, okay, saya, sebab Malaysia, we only have one hazardous waste. Kita hanya ada satu landfill sahaja untuk hazardous waste. So sekarang saya ada tanah, saya nak buat bisnes ni untung sebab ada satu saja di Malaysia. Okay. Tak boleh. You can't simply kata tanah ni saya nak guna terus. No. You have to follow the procedures. Okay. So obtain the license first and then comply with every provisions of the legislations and regulations. Establish the emergency procedure. Complete the consignment notes. And then conduct the research to improve the efficiency. Okay. So this is the responsibility of the waste generator. Let's say after this, if you are work in the safety and health environment departments in the factories or even in a company, so if your company having this kind of hazardous waste, or even after this, let's say, we don't know the COVID will go until bila. Okay, kita tak tahu COVID akan habis bila. So, kemungkinan the time bila kamu masuk, even dalam office pun, kamu still kena uruskan COVID test selalu. So, when you have the COVID test yang melebihi daripada 30, then you have to register yourself dengan Jabatan Alam Sekitar untuk pengurusan solid waste. Okay, untuk pengurusan hazardous waste. So, what is the responsibility of the waste generators? Okay. So, you need to reduce or minimize the extent possible the generations of the waste at the source. Okay, sama saja, konsep dia still sama. We need to apply the 3 R's not only in our house but then also in the industry. Okay. So, what is the responsible? So, kita still have to reduce, reuse, and recycle it. Okay. So, reuse or recycle the waste whenever possible. Render the waste innocuous before the disposal. Dispose the waste only at the approval site. Place the waste in an appropriate container and mark with the proper labels. Develop an emergency procedure for accidental spillage of waste. Okay. Complete the consignment notes and submit to the DOE. Submit to the DOE regular basis and inventory of the waste that generated. Okay. And then this is the responsible of the waste transporters. Okay, it needs to obtain the necessary approval of the transportations, complete the consignment notes, ensures that the vehicle used is specially designed, follow the recommended route, ensures that the waste reach the treatment disposal site safely. Okay, so all of the consignment notes yang dimaksudkan tu adalah the manifest. Okay, so that is the flow. So when you look into all of this, so it's actually come back to all to this flow charts. Okay, so from the cradles to the grave, daripada start from the generators until the ends, until the authorities. So every one of it have a responsible. Okay, so this is the manifest, or in Malaysia we call it as a consignment notes, but then for US we call it as a manifest. So you can see that we have one original and then we have extra 5 copies. So means that benda tu ada 6. Every times you have a 6 pieces. Okay, so the originals one akan from the state, and then lastly akan start dari the generators, will go back to the generators, and then the state agency. So you can see this is the difference place, right? Okay, so this is the schedule ataupun jadual kedua, schedule 2 of Malaysia. Okay, yang ni yang kita gunakan. So that's why saya kata, bila kita, let's say sekarang, the most simple one is, let's say, after this, bila kamu dah kerja, we will be taking example of UUM. So kita ada buat COVID test untuk every student. So in batch masuk mungkin 1,000. Okay, so bila ada 1,000, so the first thing adalah kena buat pendaftaran dulu. Okay, so kena memberitahu nak buangan. Okay, nak buang sisa yang terjadual. So apa nama dia? So kena isi. Siapa? Okay, so contoh UUM, dia punya tuan jawatan dia adalah pengarah PKU. Okay, so apa bahan dia? Kuantiti dia berapa? So kategori dia apa? So all of these kena isi and submit to DOE. And then this is the schedule 5. Okay, so sometimes tak adalah kata hari ni isi, hari ni terus ada orang datang collect. Tak, kita kena store dulu. So kena ada inventory. Macam warehouse buat macam store, kita kena simpan dulu dalam satu bilik. Okay, so kena ada inventory, and then this is the inventory form, schedule 5. And then schedule 6. Yang ni bila dah nak transport. Okay, so bila ada consignment notes, kena ada banyak 6 salinan. So yang ni akan untuk all the contractors untuk isi all these things. Alright. Okay, can you follow sampai sini? About the manifest, the consignment notes, and then kita dalam Malaysia kita ada schedule 2, schedule 5, schedule 6. Can you follow?
Doktor. Yang untuk yang kedua tu.
Okay.
Tak dengar sangat apa dia, Doktor.
Okay. Schedule tu, yang jadual kedua ni, dia adalah, okay, bila, let's say, sekarang kita dah ada sampah ni, so kita kena inform dulu dekat Jabatan Alam Sekitar. Kata sekarang saya ada sampah sekian-sekian. Bilangan dia berapa? So saya kena buat announcement ataupun informations, okay, pemberitahuan kepada DOE. So saya kena isi jadual kedua.
Oh.
So lepas kamu dah inform, dia tak adalah kata hari ni inform, hari ni dia terus datang ambil. So sometimes mungkin benda tu kamu boleh simpan. So kena simpan dalam 3 bulan, 5 bulan. So kita kena ada inventory form yang buat catatan untuk macam store, macam warehouse kita. Okay, so kita kena ada inventory, kuantiti dia. And then bila dia dah datang angkat, baru kita bagi schedule 6. Ibarat you all dulu, okay, let me ask you, masa kamu dekat sekolah menengah, bila kamu ada di dalam lab, masa kamu dah guna, selepas kamu guna all these acid and alkali, selalunya cikgu akan suruh kamu buang di mana? Akan ada satu tong di tepi lab kan? Dia akan, tepi makmal, dia akan suruh kamu tuang di dalam tong biru tersebut, betul tak? Okay, so itulah inventory. Situlah dia kena, so selalu kamu akan nampak dia takkan ada satu tong saja. Mungkin ada banyak-banyak tong yang ada tarikh. So di situlah dia akan ada involvekan inventory yang ada schedule 5. Hari ni ada berapa banyak masuk.
Maksudnya yang ni untuk yang kita buat isi-isi borang ni, folders yang macam lebih pada 30 kan yang macam doktor bagi tahu.
Yang ni kalau COVID test yang lebih daripada 30. Tapi kalau katakan company yang kamu kerja tu memang dah kategori dia ada acid, dia ada alkali, dia ada ubat. Macam kat hospital, dia tak perlu dah nak kata 30 sebab ubat actually kategori dalam hazardous waste. Sampel darah, yang mana yang ada tong kuning, yang tu semua dikategori sebagai hazardous waste.
Okay.
Kenapa saya kata guna COVID test? Sebab mungkin ada kekeliruan. Ada orang akan kata, kenapa bag COVID test dia ada simbol yang bahaya, toxic kan? Kenapa kalau kat rumah bila dia toksik kita tak disposekan ikut cara untuk yang ni. So ada schedule 2, schedule 5, schedule 6. Sebab itu di rumah kuantiti kita bukan dalam baki, bukan dalam kuantiti yang banyak. Tapi kalau di tempat kerja ataupun kalau di universities, okay, when the numbers kuantiti dia melebihi 30, you kena daftar dulu dengan Jabatan Alam Sekitar. So, this is something yang you all kena alert. Bukannya kata simply, even lepas ni, sebab bila you dah masuk kerja, you should know this thing. Kalau kamu kerja dalam bahagian safety or environmental related, SHE ke HSE, so kamu kena tahu prosedur-prosedur ni. Dia tak boleh simply kata, taklah kat rumah saya buang dekat tong sampah. So saya pergi kilang pun saya nak buang di tong sampah. No. Bila kamu dah masuk kilang ataupun company, HSC department kamu mesti ada satu designated punya tempat tong ataupun anything dekat situ. Sebab kita kena lupuskan di situ. Yang tu specialized untuk COVID. But then, when you are start working, mesti your supervisor, even your managers akan inform, this is hazardous waste. So, kita kena lupuskan mengikut cara yang biasa. Okay? Clear?
Okay.
Alright.
Clear.
Okay. So, selepas kamu dah tahu macam mana kamu nak storekan benda tu, apa prosedur yang kena buat, now we look into the treatment, storage and disposal requirements. Okay. Dia tak boleh macam kita kat rumah. Okay. Dia tak boleh macam kita kat rumah. Okay. I just simply ambil satu tong and then saya boleh letak sampah and then buang kat situ. Okay. Ataupun simply saya boleh buang ke dalam sungai. Ataupun saya boleh simply tanam dalam tanah. No. Bila kita kata deal dengan hazardous waste, dia kena ada cara dia. Kalau tak, the impact daripada sisa berbahaya akan sangat besar. Ibarat contohnya, masih ingat tak kes Sungai Kim Kim di Johor? Ingat? Okay. Ingat kan? Okay. And then you all tahu kan, selepas bila dah berlaku yang tu, and then kita trace balik, baru jumpa, okay, sampah ni, waste yang tuang di situ memilik kepada company yang mana. Ingat tak? And then mungkin kamu akan curious, macam mana sampah tu dah dibuang ke dalam sungai, diorang boleh tahu lagi, sampah tu milik kepada siapa. Disebabkan kita ada all this record yang di sebelum ni. Okay, sebab setiap sampah, setiap tong kena ada labeling. So even kalau kamu dah buang di situ, kita boleh ambil sampel untuk check. So selepas kita dah checking, dah tahu dalam tu ada apa, so dari situ kita boleh trace balik record kita. Selama ni kalau sampah jenis ni, siapa yang lupuskan? Ataupun sisa bahaya yang macam ni, siapa yang lupuskan? So, kita boleh trace balik. Dan kita boleh tahu siapa pemilik dia, siapa owner kepada sampah. So, this is why kenapa kita kata treatment, storage and disposal sangat penting. Sebab Kalau kita buang ikut suka hati, dia akan membawa impak yang sangat besar kepada sekeliling. So bayangkan Sungai Kim Kim tu, dia tuang di Sungai Kim Kim, tapi yang sakit bukan saja di area Sungai Kim Kim, tetapi juga di area sekolah. Budak sekolah yang even jauh, ada yang 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer. Okay, so this is why bila kita deal dengan hazardous waste, benda tu kena berhati-hati. Okay, so the treatment, storage and disposal facility are the last link in the cradle to grave hazardous waste management system. Okay, a TSD facility may perform one or more of the following functions. So for treatments, dia akan menggunakan any methods, any techniques or process, including the neutralizations designed to change the physical, chemical and biological character or composition of any hazardous waste, to neutralize it or to render it become a non-hazardous or less hazardous, to recover it, make it safe to transport, store or dispose, make it amenable for recovery, storage and volume reductions. Storage. So the holding of the hazardous waste for a temporary period, at the end of which the hazardous waste is treated, disposed and stored elsewhere. Disposal, the discharge, deposit, injection, dumping, spill, leaking and placing any of the hazardous waste into the land or water so that any constitute may enter the environments are discharged, including the groundwaters. So kita kena pastikan segala yang nak masuk untuk disposal ataupun untuk storage is something that is clean. Okay. So when we look into the hazardous waste management, it's still the logical priority still kita adalah almost the similar dengan solid waste management. So the first one is try to reduce. Okay. So how we can protect our environments? Actually, we try to reduce. Okay. Mengurangkan generation sampah. Bukannya kata semua kita nak recycle, but then we have to try to reduce. Okay, kita kena try untuk reduce, mengurangkan dulu. Kalau tak boleh mengurangkan, dan kita akan cuba untuk reuse it. Okay, so mungkin kamu akan kata, doktor benda tu bahaya, macam mana nak mengguna balik? So kita ada satu konsep, we call it as a waste exchange method. Okay, sebab apa yang tak nak guna untuk kilang A, kemungkinan dia adalah satu input kepada kilang B. So kita boleh jual sampah kita kepada kilang B. Dan kilang B tak perlulah ambil daripada supplier ataupun raw resources. Okay, so exchange, menukarkan dia. Okay, like a system barter lah. Contohnya, rumah kamu ada ayam, bela ayam. And then rumah orang ni bela ikan. So bila yang ni ada ayam saja, setiap hari makan ayam pun boring juga kan. So ikan tu mungkin boleh jadi makanan, ataupun ikan kecil yang dah mati boleh jadi makanan kepada ikan. So dia boleh jual kepada peternak ayam. Okay, and then kalau siapa yang bela ikan, dia perlukan sisa, dia perlukan najis daripada ayam dan itik. So dia boleh pula jual balik kepada dia. So this is the things. Okay. So one factory hazardous waste can become another feedstock. Example, acid and solvent waste from some industry can be utilized by others without processing. Okay, and then recycle. Kita recycle the metals, the energy. Detoxify and neutralize the liquid hazardous waste. Okay, so kita kena neutralkan dia. Mana yang asid terlalu tinggi ataupun alkali, kita kena neutralizekan dia. So okay, jadikan dia sebagai neutral. Destroy the combustible hazardous waste in special high temperature incinerators. Okay, so kita akan bakar. Contohnya medical waste. Semua medical waste akan dimasukkan ke dalam incinerator, akan dibakar untuk jadikan dia sebagai habuk. And then baru kita, the last one baru kita akan disposekan dia. Okay. Okay. So these are the elements of the hazardous waste management. So the source reduction at the point of generations, recycling on and off-site, transportations to processing and disposal facility, treatment and processing to reduce and eliminate the toxicity, secure the short and long-term storage and disposal. Okay, so these are all the options. Okay, contohnya, okay, kalau kita dah boleh manipulate to reduce, so macam mana kita nak convertkan, okay? So ini adalah cara, okay, 3 step of the cara macam mana kita nak manage kita punya hazardous waste, okay? So we produce less waste means ya kita cuba untuk reduce, betul tak? So we manipulate the process to eliminate or reduce the productions ataupun kita try to recycle and reuse it, okay? And then seconds, okay, nak tukar dia kepada neutral, okay? Yang mana yang bahaya kita nak jadikan dia kepada neutral. Convert to less hazardous or non-hazardous substance. So this is the methods yang ada. And then put in perpetual storage. So kita nak simpan, cara nak simpan. Yang mana satu kita nak guna, okay? So in Malaysia, we only using the landfill. Okay? Kita punya, the storage yang kita guna adalah landfill. Okay? Yang lain kita tak ada. And then for this, untuk macam mana kita nak treat dia untuk merawat dia jadi tak hazardous, tak berbahaya, kita ada land treatment, incinerator, thermal treatments and chemical, physical, biological treatments. Oceans and atmospheric assimilations kita tak ada. Okay, so this is all the process yang ada ataupun cara, the way that we can do. So the options for buildings, okay. But I'm not going to ask you to go in detail, pergi menghafal all these things. No, okay. So now we look into the waste exchange, okay? Waste exchange methods. Right. So, tadi saya dah cakap, kita ada satu cara yang kita boleh menukarkan sampah-sampah kita. Sebab sampah kita mungkin apa yang kita rasa tak baik akan jadi something yang baik untuk orang lain. So, we exchange it, okay? So, this can be helped, the waste minimizations by consign the excess unused material to an independent party for resales to a third party, okay? Save the both in waste production and in the cost so of the productions from new raw materials. So one person trash become another person treasure. So waste exchange serve as the information clearinghouse through which the availability and need for various type of material can be established. Okay. Contohnya macam saya kata tadi lah. Alright. Orang yang bela ikan, bela ayam, so all this sisa daripada ayam is actually bagi diorang sesuatu yang susah untuk urus. Okay, si itik. And then dia akan berbau. So kalau dia nak uruskan, dia kena bagi kering semua ni. But then siapa yang bela ikan di kolam, dia nak bagi supaya kolam dia ada banyak plankton yang ikan boleh makan. So dia kena masukkan the waste from the najis daripada itik dan ayam, kena masukkan ke dalam kolam tu untuk memperbanyakkan plankton tersebut supaya bakteria ada makanan. So this is one of the waste exchange. So siapa yang bela ikan, dia tak perlu dah pergi beli, purposely pergi beli makanan, beli najis. So dia boleh ambil terus daripada yang store. Okay, so this is one of the waste exchange. And then you can see from this figure is an industrial symbiosis advantage. Okay, so you can see kalau linear, biasanya kita ambil natural resources, the usual one. Okay, kita potong pokok. Okay, kita dah tebang pokok, kita masuk ke kilang untuk proses, and then kita ada produk, kertas kita dah keluar. And then ada juga waste. Betul tak? So this is the linear, okay, it's a common. So saya ambil input and then I get the output. But then for the what we want is this one. Kita berharapkan kita akan menukarkan industri kita kepada yang circular. That we can keep on cycle. Okay, the cycle can keep on working. So kilang A, dia dah ambil natural resources. So dia dah keluarkan produk dia. But then sampah dia bukan hantar kepada landfill. But then sampah dia boleh dijadikan sebagai source untuk dia punya, mungkin dia ada plan yang buat benda lain, plan B. Okay, then only come out with the product and then only we have the waste. So kalau kita tengok kat sini, supposedly, usually, bila kita ada dua plan, kita akan ada dua waste to the resources. But then now we only have one yang nak pergi ke landfill. Okay? Can you get the ideas? Apa maksud waste exchange? And then how the impact. So from here means once we reduce the waste yang nak pergi ke landfill, so tak perlulah landfill kita makin buat makin besar. Okay, we reduce our landfill size. Okay. Okay, so type of the waste exchange is the waste with the high metal concentration, solvent, concentrated acid, oil, and combustible material that we can use as a fuel. Okay, so how we doing the recyclings for the hazardous waste? Okay, we reuse the waste material in other process within the same facility or other related facility. So hazardous waste that may recycle include the water, solvent, spill oil, and selected solids. So process for recovery of spent solvent, metal, plating, raise the water by using the distillations, ion exchange, electrodialysis, evaporation, and reverse osmosis. Okay, so now dah selesai yang depan all the treatments, disposal and process. Now we look into the technologies. Okay, treatment technologies. Contohnya macam saya minta you all buat untuk wastewater technologies. Okay, now we look into the hazardous waste treatment technologies. Okay, what kind of technologies that we have? Okay, so the principal objective of the hazardous waste treatment are we need to reduce the toxicity. And then we convert the form that can be subsequently be processed by other technologies. And then we will total eliminate. And then we will reduce the volume and immobilizations. Okay, so why here I'm using schedule waste management facility is actually the hazardous waste management facility, or even we call it as a schedule waste sebab dalam EQA, Environmental Quality Acts, those that ada dalam jadual so is considered as a hazardous waste. Okay, so this you will learn it in the next 2 chapters. Masa you all start learning on the EQA, EIA related, then only you will come to this term. So now it's just remember that schedule waste or hazardous waste is the same things. Okay, so the facilities, apa facilities yang kita ada? Okay, so the waste management facilities that used by the various waste management operator depend on the waste that the operator handles. Okay, so these are the things, the current hazardous waste management facility yang kita ada. Okay, so we have the waste transport facility, off-site waste storage and waste transfer station, secure landfill, schedule waste incinerator plant, clinical waste incinerators, off-site physiochemical waste treatment, centralized waste facility, resource recovery, and then land treatments and also wastewater treatment facility. Okay, so from out of all of these, it can be classified into 4 types. So kita ada waste recovery or recycling, treatment facility, land disposal, and fully integrated facility. Okay. So for integrated schedule waste management system, I'm giving you this as the example yang kita ada di Malaysia. Okay, Malaysia kita hanya ada satu sahaja for hazardous waste management system yang integrated, combine semua sekali. We only have one in Malaysia. So it's a quality alam sendirian berhad. So it's the centralized integrated waste management center, developed by using a combinations of multiple technologies. Okay. Nanti saya akan tunjuk kat you all videos dia. Why quality alams, even if I bring last time masa saya pergi field visits, we all tak dibenarkan keluarkan handphone untuk record anything. And then we all tak boleh turun jalan. Hanya bas sahaja akan bergerak bawa we all into certain place. So, I can't have any record, any photos. So, apa yang saya boleh provide adalah dia punya corporate videos yang diorang share. So, at the end of this class, I will provide you the link so that you can watch it by yourself. Okay? So, the Waste Management Center initially have 4 integrated treatment system. So, dekat situ, dalam tu sebab dia sangat besar. So, dalam tu dia ada incinerator plants, physiochemical treatment plants, solidifications and secure landfills. Sebab why ada solidification? So, after the incinerations, selepas benda tu terbakar, dia akan jadi habuk. It will become an ash. So, we will collect all the ash and then compress it, become a solid. Jadikan dia dalam bentuk butter. Dan baru dihantar ke landfill. So, it will start to reduce the size. So, the facility treat all the category except radioactive waste, pathological waste and explosive waste. Okay, pathological waste, patah balik ke sini adalah clinical waste. So, clinical waste kita ada specially punya management for the clinical and pharmaceutical waste. Means all the pharmacy related or test result related. Yang tu di typing. Incinerators yang untuk all medical related yang berkaitan dengan ubat, jarum, hospital waste, clinical waste, semua ada di typing. Okay. So these are the facility that we have at the quality alam. So the incinerator plants, solidification treatment plant, physical and chemical treatment plant, and then secure landfill. Okay, and clinical waste treatment centers. So this is the landfill. Landfill ini adalah sama juga dengan landfill yang kamu belajar, the sanitary landfill. All the things is the same, except dalam dia. Okay, kalau untuk sampah kita terus dispose sampah kita. But then for this, dia adalah semua dalam bentuk tong. So that's why you see, semua ni adalah drums. Okay, so dia adalah dalam bentuk tong. Okay, kita akan simpan dia dalam tong and then baru kita susunkan dia di dalam. And then it will still go by layer and layer and layer. Okay. So this is the waste treatment options for the category. So you can see from here, the different category and different waste will have a different treatment methods. Okay. And then this is the videos that related. Okay. So we have first hazardous waste to energies. Okay. Kita dah ada satu yang boleh transferkan kepada energies. Yang ni ada di KL. Okay, yang ni ada di KL. And then this is the e-Swiss, Electronic Schedule Waste Information System. Yang saya kata tadi, kita ada Schedule 2, Schedule 5, Schedule 6. Kita ada manifest yang kena tracking kan. So now we are moving into everything into digitals. And then yang ni, I tak boleh access, so I only can provide you the YouTube videos because I cannot register. So I can't show you the system, okay? And then this is the quality alam. Okay, the business. So this is the corporate videos, okay? So please watch it. At least you have a more clear ideas. What is it? Okay, dan macam mana dia operate. Alright. So that's all for today's. Do you have any questions? Anyone have any questions? So can you follow the class? Okay, alright. Boleh ikut, bagus. Okay. This chapter is more to providing you the general ideas about what happens you guys tak banyak deal dengan all these hazardous related, okay? So it just to provide you the idea. At least bila you dah start kerja, you know that sampah-sampah tu, when especially if you are in the environmental related teams, okay? And nowadays, sekarang all the industry is actually towards green and also sustainability. So when you deal with all of this, it will giving you at least small the ideas what is happening supaya tak adalah nanti kamu kata, kenapa sampah ni bukan lori sampah biasa yang datang ke land? Kenapa yang ni saya kena catat? Okay, so this is all the things, alright? So you have to do all these things. And then this is all the procedure. And then also from here, at least you know. Okay, if you are dealing dengan yang hazardous waste, so kita kena daftar. Dia tak boleh dispose ikut suka hati kita. And then nak berdaftar dengan siapa? So you have to access to the e-Swiss. So daripada portal DOE, dia ada login untuk e-Swiss. Okay. Boleh, Ajira. Okay, sekejap ya. Marisa ada kan tadi? Norin pun tak scan lagi. Okay. Siapa?
Doktor,
Ya.
can I get minute attendance? Can you add
Siapa?
me?
Oh, okay.
Norin.
Norin alright. Tak apa. Siapa lagi yang nak scan? So you guys scan dulu. Okay, tak apa. Mana yang nak add, saya addkan. Norin. Who else? Azwan. Okay, who else? But then should be dah cukup, I think. 51, your class have 54. Hilmi ada? Hilmi? Hilmi?
Nanti saya call dia boleh?
Ni ada. Hilmi, okay. Assignment kamu tak hantar lagi. Jangan lupa hantar assignment ya. Hilmi dengar tak saya cakap? Betul tak yang ni kamu? Hilmi Tiger. Okay. So Hilmi, jangan lupa.